Alright, boys. Deus 2 HF2 coil, an undisclosed version. And we're going to turn that triple score on here in a minute with a small coil on it. I'm going to this is for you users out there, okay? Just to make you aware. The inside measurement from that silver dime to that Zincoln penny is real close to 6 inches. We're going to be sweeping just shy of 3.5 inches over both. Some people select dig with metal detectors. We'll only look at the mono program. Now, I'm not telling you to use mono program necessarily on this outfit, okay? But if you decide to, for whatever reason, due to EMI or whatever. Okay, so we're in mono program. We're at 8.8 kilohertz. That's the lowest frequency available. Big ideas engaged. Reactivity 1. We'll check a few speeds here, okay? Full sweeps of the coil. Full tones are selected with default offset, whatever that is, 5. We'll raise it to 10. How about that? Full sweeps of the coil. So we hear high tone. You notice that, but you see that meter. So you're in a while using full tones. You hear high tone. Well, what do you do with something like that? So now I'm going to hover the dime. Look at there. 92. Hover the Zincoln. 86. But I'm sweeping. So I hear that high tone. A user might look down at that screen and see that 85 and say, well, I think I'll walk on that. That's one of them old stinking Zincolns. Or our twist cap, aluminum. Okay, you see that. Now that is speed 1, okay? There is never a 88, 87, 90, 92, 91 ever comes in that meter. We're going to speed the machine up. Speed 2. Same deal. 85, 86. Full tones. You hear the high tone. High tone gets you to stop. Well, what are you going to do when you stop? You might look at that meter, right? That's what it's there for, ain't it? Speed 3. 86. 86. Everything I've swept in speed 3 is 86. Left and right. Speed 4, that's as far as we'll go. 86. We'll change frequencies. We'll start at speed 4. 18 kilohertz. We'll leave it there. Full sweeps of the call. Just like you're in the wild, you would come across that. 86. You wouldn't expect a higher frequency to do better, but I'm showing you this. We'll just go to speed 2 or 2.5. 2.5. 85. I'm going to hover that Zincoln. You see that Zincoln ID? Look at that. You see that? Speed 1.5. You see that? Okay. The edge of that penny is just inside the 18-inch mark. I just removed the Zincoln penny. We're at 18.1 kilohertz, speed 1.5. See what we got in that meter now. That Zincoln penny's back down there. You see what we got now. Full tones. I've got higher tone. But remember, the ID scale on this machine, denoting between 85 and 86 versus 91 or 2 to the ear. That might be hard to do, huh? But it gets you to stop. Okay? Now that's running no notch, or the factory notch, no notch, okay? So we'll back this machine back up frequency-wise. All right, we're back at 8.8 kilohertz. Now I'm just going to start notching it at 0. We're going to notch this thing to about 87. That's where we're at. You see the notch in the machine? Okay, we're at speed 1.5. What happens now? Let me open the screen up. You see that meter reading? That gets you to stop, huh? So using this machine in mono program to select dig high conductors, you might want to use notch. Now, since I've got the notch in this machine, let's just change the frequency up to 18 kilohertz to see what happens. Look at there. One signal, 92, 93. Okay. So I showed this machine without notch. I showed it with notch. I chose the lower frequency band and the next higher frequency band. All right. We're going to turn on the old skewer unit. Now, it's not going to have any notch in it. I'm not even going to show it with notch. Okay. We're at 15 kilohertz, speed 3. What does it do? Now, I showed multiple speeds on that machine over there with no notch, okay? I try to treat machines correctly. Okay? You see that meter? So, I'm in 60 tones. I've got high tones. But I look down there and I see a 45. Okay, let's hover this Zincoln. You see that? Hover that dime. So I've got some intel there with this machine down at 46. If I seen a 45 or 46, I'd be like, wait a minute, that's not a Zincoln, is it? Now granted, coming off the right side here, I don't see 46, but at least coming off the left side, I see 46, I see 47, 45, you see that? Okay. I just picked up the Zincoln penny. Now, only thing down there is the mercury dime. You see the ID. 46. I'm going to lay the Zincoln up here. What does it ID? 41. Okay? So running this machine at 15 kilohertz, you would less likely, without notch, compared to that machine, that coil, at 8.8 kilohertz, you would be less likely to miss that higher conductor, meaning you wouldn't think it would be a Zincoln necessarily like you would with that machine. Okay? Just one test, but I'm just showing you what you could get into with that piece of equipment if you're going to select dig. Notch is probably your best friend, okay? Versus using your ear and watching the meter. Yeah, watch the meter after the machine trips with notch. That might tell you something. That is going to conclude the video.